Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Lachey Miller, right? And I'm back with another phenomenal video. And today we're going to talk about the importance of relationships and why relationships fail, reasons why relationship fails, one-on-one. Not so long ago, I did a Happy Valentines video, and it had a lot to do with mathematics, but it also had a lot to do with your significant other and how you should appreciate people you love and how a gift is no justification for love, okay? It talked about a lot of stuff. It's very deep. It's pretty long. Most of my videos are very long. I also talked about this book, Five Love Languages. And if you know nothing about it, you guys should really look into it and read it. But I also talked about in my video called Happy Valentine's Day. I will put that link in the bottom of my description, and let you guys figure out what your thoughts are on about it. Conversate, comment down below when you watch it. Let me know how you like it. Tell me your thoughts about it. And yeah, I believe that we're supposed to have 5 love languages, but I won't go too much in depth about it because I went into depths on it in that one video, and yeah, I'm not going into depths today. So relationships and the reasons why they fail. I feel the ultimate goal in relationships is marriage. And if you're not planning to marry that person, then you're really wasting your time. Now, I'm not saying marriage is the ultimate commitment. I believe that before you can even get in marriage is you need to be fully committed before you get married. I understand why marriages fail, because honestly, you guys never had a real foundation before you got married. And that's why a lot of relationships and marriages fail when they switch over from one stage to another. The only difference is it really shouldn't be different. Like, a marriage is just a commitment between you, God, and your spouse. I'm a person who believes, I'm very spiritual. I'm a person who believes that you need to have God, your spouse, and you committed to each other long before you get married. The foundation was never, there was no real relationship if when you got married it fell apart. Like that makes no sense. I get people change, and a lot of reasons why people fail at relationships is because they don't expect the people that they love to change. They don't tend to grow with them. They expect you to be one version of how you were when you first met them, totally being one-sided, but not wanting you to be all of who you are, not accepting all the versions of who you are. And that's a failed relationship. If you can't accept and love the person that you're with and all of who they are as they grow into this amazing, beautiful person that they're going to be, whatever God intended them to be, whoever they decide to be. If you can't love that person in all their phases, all their aspects, then you don't deserve to love anybody, because you got to know that people are going to change. And sometimes the way people change are not necessarily good for you. Sometimes people grow away from you. Sometimes one minute you're growing, you're together. The next minute you're growing apart. You have to grow and elevate up, not like from a distance. So relationships fail because people tend to grow apart, not together, and that they don't have a steady foundation in their relationship. So when they get married, they completely fall apart and it becomes a chaos, right? I believe soul tying is very serious, and we all do it. Most people don't realize the importance of soul tying. It really drains on your spirit to have multiple sex partners and people that you don't have a true care for. It really messes with your soul. It really does something to you. If you are nooked with a person and it's a deep connection and it's beyond what beyond what you ever experienced, right? And it's nothing that you could have controlled or ordained or put together, but only by the divine works of God, right? You better be careful with those soul ties, you guys, because some of these connections in which you are tying to is some people that God really intended for you to love. And if you tie your soul with other people while you're loving that person, you can damage their soul, but also damage yours. You gotta be mindful of your both of your spirits and your significant other. You gotta be caring of the person that you love and understand that it's not just you anymore; it's you and them. And if you're only thinking about yourself and your beneficial needs and your agenda and your motive for why you're with that person, then you need to keep it moving and let that person go because they can do better without you. But most people, the thing about that is most people, you don't need to do better and go find somebody else. You need the person that you're with to step up and do better for you, okay? It's that person will say, make all these excuses for why they can't do this or that. You don't need a new person. You don't need a better person. You need that person right there that's with you to step up, right? You need that person that's gonna step up and stop making those excuses. Like people make excuses all day long. No one cares. Nobody cares. You make excuses, things don't change. Things don't change. There's no such thing as trust issues, only issues where people gave you reason not to trust them. The problem with that is you're not really supposed to trust anybody anyways. You only could trust people to do what they're going to do. So if they lie, you trust them to lie. If they cheat, you trust them to cheat. If they steal, you trust them to steal. Trust people to do what they're going to do is based on their behaviors and what they've done and based on their actions. People are very wordy. I'm a wordy person, but I'm also a woman of profound actions. I'm also a woman who believes that words were first formed before there was actions anyway, and there's no justification without the words if there's no manifestation of actions. And there can be not one without the other. So I'm a woman who believes that if there's a lack of if there's a self-contradiction of words and actions, therefore you are an infallible and incompetent person. That's what I believe. If your words do not match your actions, therefore you are incompetent and infallible, and I ain't gonna want no dealings with you, to be honest. And ain't isn't a word, but you guys, I'm gonna not say so many words that are not in the dictionary. Okay, reasons relationships fail 101. Dead efforts, the efforts that you put into your relationship to pursue the person that you're with right now. You don't put forth the effort anymore. It's like anything that you obtain in this life, anything you pursuing right now, once you got in it, the hunger, the desire for it, once you got it, you just lose that passion. What happens to the passion? What happens to the hunger to be with the person that you want to be with? What happens to the pursuing you? What happens to you, right? You wanted this person, you got this person, now you're with that person. Make an effort. Don't give people dead excuses. Don't give people messed up efforts, okay? Make sure you do the work. So if you want that person in your life, you make sure you make an effort. And don't just let that person make the effort, okay? You make an effort too, all right? The changes. People don't really expect the person that they're with to change, but the thing about that is people are going to change no matter what. Now, you got to learn how to love people through all their phases, right? You got to love people through all their phases because people are not going to be the same. The person that you fell in love when you first met, that person is not going to be the same. If they're really growing and learning and experiencing life and going through hardships every day, that person will not be the same person that you met when you first met them. Period, point blank. That's it. That's a wrap. The lack of appreciation in your spouse and your significant other. When you don't appreciate the person you love and what you have and value that, you go out giving your appreciation to everybody and everyone, giving all your energy to everybody outside of your relationship. When you come home, you don't have the energy to give your spouse or your significant other. You don't give that person the time of day. When you don't make an effort towards the person that you say you love, right? The person you say you love, right? You make excuses why you can't make effort or justify all these different things for why you can't do certain things. When you make excuses for why you can't make an effort to your spouse, you become an asshole, okay? There's no sugarcoating it. The lack of appreciation is the lack of appreciation in oneself. When you don't appreciate your spouse, you don't appreciate yourself. You can go out and you can give everybody your best, but when you come home, you give your significant other half best. It's not good. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You want it to work, you make an effort. You go out there, you give 100% in everything else you do. You come in your relationship, you slack off. That don't work. Okay? That don't work. Misunderstanding. The misunderstanding between two people based on their perspective, based on their experience, as whether it's male or woman and woman, there can be a lack of understanding based on perspective, understanding, reasoning, what they're experiencing. And when we don't take the time to sit down and really talk to each other about what we're going through, or what each other said, and like give each other verification of how one made each other feel, really talk to each other, really open up, have the floor, give each other the floor, and then give that other person time to hear, and you listen, and that other person listens, and you speak. So when you guys don't take the time to just talk to each other, open up, have a safe haven for each other just to talk and communicate, then definitely your relationship is never going to have any good solid grounds, and you're definitely always going to fail at your relationship. Excuses. When your spouse give you all these random excuses about why they can't do nothing, or why you don't want to love them, or why you this and that, or I told you this and that, but that's no justification for all that stuff. You saying all this, okay? What does that mean? Okay? That's just your way of making an excuse. You can do better, and I expect better. That's what you gotta say to your spouse. That's what you gotta want. That's what you gotta want to see the best in the people that you love, and you gotta expect that. You don't need to go looking for another person. You gotta expect the best from the person you're with. At the end of the day, you can't focus on several different hundred people. Yeah, you can help several different people in the way that they need help, but when it comes to romance, when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships with a partner, a life partner, you can only be in love with one person at a time. Yeah, you can love multiple people, but I'm telling you, you can only be in love with one person at one time. And, if you're a double-minded man or a double-minded woman, you're unstable. That's a fact, that's a point, and there's no need to discuss it. Past dwellings. You allow your past to be a reason why you can't flourish in your new relationships. You allow those things that happen to you to hinder you, hold you back, and be the reason why you can't really, do right in your new relationships. Okay? It's not right. It's not right. It's just a fact. When you were making the effort of pursuit in the beginning, when you was thinking about getting with that person, you should have been thinking about all this stuff that you were holding on to. You should have known those things, and you know those things. Now that you're with that person, I need you to make a better effort to get over those things and overcome those things and face those things within yourself. That's a fact. That's what you need to do. That's it. The other reason why relationships fail is because people don't know thyself. People don't know what they desire. People don't know what they want to do. The reason why my relationship failed when I was young is not that I wasn't a good woman. Yeah, he cheated, and it wasn't like something I was really caring about. I don't really care for cheating. I don't really care to be with people who are really double-minded. But he was young, and he really didn't have like a lot of aspirations or dreams or desires. And neither one of us was growing together. At that time, I was still young. I was fresh out of college. I went to school for welding. And I was struggling to get a welding job at that time. And where I live, you're not going to get too many opportunities. And it's taken some time to, flourish as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, as an author. But I'm definitely way better than I was back then. And I definitely know a lot more than I did now. That relationship lasted 8 years. Okay, guys? It was a junior high thing, and it lasted for a good while, but let me tell you, we did not grow together. We had love for each other, but that was young love, It's all forms of love, but let me tell you, that was some young love that had no prospering. I wasn't growing with him. We would get together, but we were falling apart, right? We were flowing apart. He was the kind of man who he didn't open up. He wasn't expressive. He didn't speak about his feelings. We didn't talk about things. We wasn't deeply connected. We didn't have deep conversations. And I knew all about him, and he thought he knew all about me, but I can deceive you into believing something like that. I don't share myself completely with everybody, but if I find a man or you meet a man who's worthy of knowing me completely, I will allow this man to know me and know all about me. The world won't even fully know all about me. I'm an author. It's good to know my biography, but you won't know everything about me. I'll definitely leave out some great details about myself. But yeah, not knowing yourself, but also not loving yourself, not giving yourself what you need, and always expecting others to be the ones to make up for the lag that you don't put in. That is very bad in any account, because no one is accountable for your life, and no one should be the reason for why you're happy. No one can make you happy. Only you can make yourself happy. So when you realize it all starts with you and your efforts, then you can understand why it's really important for you to make a better commitment to yourself and be honest about things. Be honest about yourself. Be honest about your flaws. Be honest with your spouse. Be honest. Be an honest person. It's better to hurt people with the truth than sit there and lie to their face about things that you're uncertain about, but also things that you lied about because you feel like you're protecting them. You only hurt people more when you lie. You hurt people way more when you lie. The truth doesn't kill people. A lie will, though. Second best, you're giving the person that you say you're in love with, that you love, okay? One you say I love you to, the one that you have a difficult time being fully nooked with, flourishing with, being abundant with, the one that you're learning to grow with, right? You're giving them your second best, and your second best is not enough because your second best is not your all. And you can give more because you can give more, but you don't, right? Because you're still holding on to past dwellings, right? You keep holding on to those bad memories, those lingering ideas of what it could turn out to be rather than what it should be. You are the one who makes the effort. You are the one who makes it what it is. You have to put forth the effort if you want it to be anything more than you desired it to be. You can't keep dwelling over past situation and things that you've been through and then bringing that into your current situation or current relationship and making that a manifested thought. Because when you think about it, it becomes your reality. Perception is reality. The way you think and the way you see becomes a manifestation of your reality around you. So I'm telling you, you got to give a better effort to the person you love. Don't give them your second best. Give them the best you can give. They don't need another somebody. They need a better you. That's all that matters. You're the one who needs to step up. Nobody else. Fears, your fears. These fears are constantly dwelling in your mind. It's good. It's so good. You're so happy with this person. Oh, and these fears trigger in your mind. You think about the past relationships you've been in, and you struggle. You struggle with really being happy with this person because you're not really sure how long this person is going to be around because everybody else ditched you, right? I can understand. I really can. You're not giving your best efforts regardless. So it's not like your fears should stop you anyways. You're half-ass doing it, okay? And you shouldn't let your fears stop you from being a good man to every woman or every male that you're with, okay? If you say you're in a relationship, if you say you want a person, if you pursue a person with your all and you get them in your life, you need to appreciate them and make an effort, a dying effort. Devotion. Be devoted. Be committed. Be honest. Be communicative. All right? Because the more effective you are with your partner, your spouse, your lover, the more effective you are to helping people and helping the universe, right? Then your triggers, those triggers from past things that you haven't overcome yet, right? Your triggers. Those things that make you splash out on your significant other, the things that make you react, those things that make you mad, right? Those things that hurt you, the things that still hurt you. The reason why people are still hurt because their ego and their pride is hurt. Because whoever hurt them hurt their pride or ego. You gotta get your pride and ego back, baby. You got to get your power back. You got to get that self-love. You got to love yourself and know that you're worthy of something greater. And if that person couldn't appreciate you, you got to let that go, baby. If they wasn't down for you the way you thought they should have been, then oh well. It's too late. It's over with. Get over it. What are you waiting for? Okay? All this triggering, this self-doubt about yourself, but also the person that you've been pursuing to be with. Now that you're with them, you got all this self-doubt, right? Self-doubt about them, self-doubt about yourself, self-doubt, just all this doubt, right? You're not helping it. And then it goes into the illness of treatment. Like, you treat your spouse in a way that is not necessary, right? You become this uncaring, unconcerned, disregarding person. You got to do better with the people you love, with the things you desire. When you pursue things in life and you obtain them, you better be happy long before you get them. And you need to work on you, right? Work on your inner self, because your inner self is what makes all this worthy of having. These clothes don't make you. You make these clothes look good. Your heart, your mind, your spirit, your soul is what makes you a person. If you don't give yourself the necessary things that you need, you will lack in your relationships for a long period of time. You will be unhappy in a way that your spouse cannot fulfill. And you would not ever appreciate them. If you don't learn to be happy with who you are and where you are and what you've been, and appreciate those trials and things that you've been in life done, and take it as a lesson and keep it rolling, right? If you don't take this as a lesson, well learned, you will go in life missing out on the most precious moments of life with the person that you truly love, because you spend no time acknowledging or appreciating them, because you keep yourself to a distance. You hold all your inner truth, because you can tell a person what you think, but never tell a person what you feel. And that is so much deeper, because when a man or woman can express themselves to the person that they are in love with, that they say that they love, that they say that I love you too. Well, you can't open your mouth and tell a person what it is that they feel, what they made you experience, then you're holding out on that person. Or you really don't feel comfortable enough to consider that person a real companion. If you're not with that person to fully love or be committed to them, don't pursue people without the intentions of wanting to love them. If you're going to pursue a person, you better give your best effort. You better love that person, okay? Don't go out here half pursuing people with no intentions of being with that person, no intentions of loving that person, and no intention of trying to make it work out, okay? If you don't intend to grow with that person, don't waste your time. If you don't plan to love a person in all their phases, and understand that person won't always be who they were. Because I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm a different woman this year, right? I may have the same goals, the same dreams, the same aspirations, but I've changed a lot since last year, okay? If you can't love a person for all they are, you shouldn't love a person at all. And that's it. That's why people think it's 5 different specific love languages divided onto everybody else. But everybody should have 5 love languages, because the lack of the love in this world and the lack of appreciation, right? The lack of wisdom, the lack of understanding, the lack of communication, the lack of comprehension, the lack of so much in this world that we really need. It's the reason why we don't have what we desire. It's the reason why we don't have what we really need in the universe. And I'm just trying to teach the importance of things. So, peace, love, and happiness. I hope you guys are having an abundant day. Take the time to do the inner works. Work on yourself. Be a better you for the person that you love. But it's mostly important for yourself, because the better you are to yourself, the more effective you are with yourself, right? The more effective you are at loving you, the more effective you are at appreciating you, giving yourself what you need, just, acknowledging the things and not neglecting, right? Not neglecting. The better you are with yourself, the better you are with a significant other or a person that you love. I know I love the hell out of me, right? I love the hell out of me, right? Flaws and all, baby. So I know I can love the hell out of somebody else. That's a fact. That's period, point blank. I'm different from everybody. And I know what I stand for. I know what I believe. And I know what is right. So we're going to teach it. This is 101 failed relationships. Have a nice day. Love y'all.